Hey my friends, Jeff Yalden here. Listen, I've been wanting to get this video out since last Thursday. I've been on bed rest with severe back pain and sciatic pain. Please forgive me for the unprofessional backdrop here, but I know I'm down to the end where half of the people are going on leave, the other half are back, and then vice versa. So I want to send a video to all of the officers, to the crew members, to all the families and the friends of Carrier Strike Group 10. Again, my name is Jeff Yalden, and I'm here to introduce myself and tell you why I'm here with you and how I hope that my heart can speak to your heart. I hope that I can share with you some of my experiences in life, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, your first question is, okay, and so why do I need to listen? Well, actually, my friends, you don't. But I strongly feel that by choosing to listen, this moment can be life-changing forever. I promise, and I'm going to tell you why. About me a little bit. I don't want to go on and on about me, but you can read more at the end if you want to. jeffyalden.com. I served in the United States Marine Corps, so I kind of understand what it's like being deployed and seeing things that other people don't see or things that other people can never understand. I too was asked to do things and go places beyond what I knew that I had signed up for. But then again, you signed up for the inevitable. It's on their terms, not yours. I've written 4 best-selling books on Amazon. I consult with schools, colleges, and universities, doctors, mental health professionals, and families on teen and youth mental health, and also in general on mental health today, or as I like to call it, mental hydration. Why? I'm diagnosed with major depression. I'm diagnosed with bipolar type 2 and post-traumatic stress disorder. Yet, as I come here today, I'm the healthiest I've ever been, with the exception of this back stuff. But I know a lot of this goes back to my time in the Marine Corps. But I never realized that I was unhealthy and not mentally stable until I realized in my own life that enough is enough. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought to myself, hey, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's me and not this or that, him, her, your parents, your coaches. Maybe it's not the leadership in the Navy, your wife, your kids. Maybe it's not other people. I'll never forget the time when I looked in the mirror and said, maybe it's me. And that was a profound moment in my life. Let me ask you a question, if I could. Who's the hardest person to get to know? Who's the hardest person to get to know? You're probably saying me, ourselves, us, each other. Yeah. It's a good place to start. Getting to know ourselves. Let's not worry about getting to know others too much when we're still struggling to try and get to know ourselves and how we think, our reactions, how we feel, our emotions, and where my life is going. Who am I? What do I want to do? What is my purpose? And speaking of purpose, I want to ask these 4 soul questions that I challenge you to ask yourself. Maybe someone's going to write them down. Number 1, who am I? Number 2, what do I want? Number 3, what is my life's purpose? And lastly, what am I grateful for? Who am I? What do I want? What is my life's purpose? And what am I grateful for? I think too often we live our lives in the here and the now, especially when we're young. But life isn't in the here and the now. Life's a journey. It's a journey every day of ups and downs, the wins, losses, the good, the bad. It's a journey. and how we go about that journey, how we respond to situations or circumstances, conditions. Listen, no matter what you've been through, it might not be your fault that this happened or that happened, but how you respond to everything will always be your responsibility. It might not be your fault, but your choices, actions, behavior, that's all our responsibility. And so where some of you are and what some of you might be thinking, I get it. I understand. While in the Marine Corps, deployment and trainings, it's tough. Leave your family, leave your friends, leave what you know. And like many of you, you're missing important events. I didn't get to see either of my daughters born. And while away, I found out that at the time my wife was having an affair with one of my fellow Marines while he was back stateside and we were deployed. Yeah. My friends, you know the stories. You've heard the stories. Some of you know people who've experienced it, maybe even you. Me too. I get it and I understand. It wasn't easy. And I wish I had known then what I know now that I'm sharing with you. And that is what I hope for you to take away from this. My friends, I'm not a textbook guy. I'm real life. I'm real talk. I tell real stories. So I ask you to trust me in this moment. And I ask you to be truly present and open your heart with me. My heart to yours. I'm speaking experience, truth, a lot of education in a simplified manner that transcends age, rank, situations, life circumstances. First thing I come to learn is I spent too many years of my life with a fixed mindset, not a growth mindset. And the fixed mindset is where, like, you already know. You don't need to tell me. It's like you're the victim. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've had to see growing up. My family this, my family that. Listen, if you have a fixed mindset, your potential is capped. You ain't growing. As I've gotten older and on this journey of getting to know me, I've learned about a growth mindset. I wake up every day, I want to learn something. I want to realize what I don't know and try and do the best I can to educate myself, to hydrate the mind, to hydrate the body, to be more aware and more looking at myself, self-reflection. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to respond differently than the way I used to react. So fixed mindset or growth mindset, that's something that I wish you could understand, especially when you're young. Listen, my greatest regret in life and what really led me on a journey of self-discovery. I was married for 17 years to a great woman. And I'll never forget the day that she was coming home after having a full hysterectomy. We're driving home from the hospital. It's about 9:30 in the morning. We had a note from the doctor, 30 days mandatory bed rest. No cooking, no cleaning, no shopping, nothing. We pull in the driveway and I get out of the car and I escort her up to the room and made sure she had whatever she needed. And when she was settled in, that was the moment that I walked out on her forever. Many of you are probably judging me right now. Some of you might be like, dude, why? I walked out on my number one at the moment that she needed me then more than anything. I hate myself for that. And I've apologized to her hundreds of times. And she has forgiven me. We have a decent relationship. But you know who the hardest person is to forgive? Is yourself. I want to share with you a little bit about what led to this. You know, in 17 years of her and I being married, she's never seen me speak professionally. And in the beginning, it was like, well, if I go see you speak and they laugh at you, then I'm going to want to protect you, and I can't. Yeah, I get it. 17 years. But let's stop blaming it on other people and looking at what they did wrong, and let's look at ourselves and how we could have handled things differently. Never once did I ever sit down with her and say, listen, having you there, being supportive would be amazing, and if they were to laugh at me, that's okay. You're there. I never communicated that. So if I don't communicate what I want and what I need, how am I supposed to expect her to do what I need her to do if she doesn't know how I feel? So again, yeah, that's me, not her. My parents have never seen me talk. I was abused as a child. My parents are both alcoholics. My father has never told me he's proud of me. And that's okay. Before my journey, it wasn't okay. I was the victim. Through my journey, I learned it is okay, and here's why. My friends, you only know what you know. And if you only know what you know, then you can only do what you choose to learn. But we also don't know what we don't know. And so if we have a fixed mindset, we will never know. But if we have a growth mindset, then we come to realize that people can only do what they are capable and they know that they can or should do. But you can't change people, places, and things. But you can change yourself. You can choose to be a better husband, a better officer, a better peer, a better coworker, a better teammate, a better wife, a better son, you can choose how you respond and not react to things. You can choose how you learn to let go and grow through things. You can choose to not be the victim, but be the victor. You can choose to not be bitter, but choose to be better through everything that we go through. But you got to make that choice. You got to make the choice to realize that, man, everything we go through, everything that we experience shapes us. Every experience makes us stronger, gives us more courage. It changes who we are and how we respond. Remember, you don't know what you don't know, but a fixed mindset is about being immature. It's about ego. It's lack of compassion. It's anger. And it's fear. You're being resentful over something. You're pushing away authority. You're not giving people a chance. And we're not in this alone. We have to. But a growth mindset is about opening up. It's about wanting to be better. It's not a weakness. It's about wanting to learn every day. It's compassion and empathy and understanding. And so I'm begging you to respond to situations. Don't react on what you can't control. Learn to breathe in the process and process your emotions and thoughts through what you're feeling and thinking. So I think one of the greatest problems that we are facing today is lack of coping skills and problem-solving skills. It seems like we all feel that we're entitled to something or deserving, and our rights and privileges come before our responsibilities and obligations. No. Our responsibilities and obligations come always before our rights and privileges. I think we could all use a major cleanse in how we think, how we feel, how we act, and what we do. Let me ask you this other question. What is your purpose in life? What is your purpose? You're probably still trying to figure that out. I know, me too, and I'm turning 50. What drives you? What drives you? What fills that void in your heart? My friends, I want to applaud each and every one of you for your service and your sacrifice to our country. Little bit that I do know is that you've endured some 190 plus days at sea without coming into port. I know that you left America as you once knew it, and you returned to America under quarantine and uncertainty. And maybe some of you feel powerless and like you're not helping, and you don't know what to do. I get it. Listen, through my journey in life, all that I've accomplished and all that I've lost, the good, the bad, the highs, the lows, the wins, the losses, I'll tell you one thing that can't be taken away from me. And that's my honorable discharge, my service to my country. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I'm proud of that. And you don't realize that now. And I don't expect you to, but we're also working and living our responsibilities and obligations to enjoy for ourselves and our families those rights and privileges. Responsibilities and obligations give you rights and privileges. And nothing good comes without the hard work that we have to put in every single day. And so to each and every one of you, I thank you for your service, the sacrifice you make, the bearing in the military spirit in times of that last deployment and the next one that's coming. You guys are our heroes. And it might not feel like it because you're in it. But while being in it, know that you're doing something heroic and serving our country. I don't know one bigger purpose than serving others. Serving each other. Sometimes it's not fair, I know. But it's more not fair when you play the victim card. You're not a victim. Remember mindset. I want you to choose to reframe and choose to be the victor. How do you do that? Again, reframe, condition, gratitude is something. I think having someone to be able to talk to, again, that's not a weakness. You're not alone. And there's so many different triggers that can affect how you're thinking and feeling. So many different things that can really get to you that make you want to react. So breathe, self-care, and when you find yourself being bitter about something, know that that only hurts you. Make a choice to be better and make that choice to talk to someone to help you reframe what you might be thinking. I'll tell you something, this pandemic, it's teaching me permanent flexibility. Mental hydration is something that's becoming more rampant and okay to talk about. And I'm stoked about that. My friends, it's okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to not be okay and to not do something about it. Here's what I'm talking about. Whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's emotionally, it's spiritually, it's your purpose, it doesn't matter. Whatever you feel, red flags that aren't good or healthy thoughts, you talk to someone. And you get someone to help you work through your thoughts and your feelings and emotions. Are your reactions making you regret what you may have said or done? Are you reacting in anger? Are you resentful? Are you taking it out on someone? Or are you thinking before you act? Again, this is something that you can talk to someone and they can help you. I have this thing I call the 4 T's. Take time to think before anything. Don't make decisions based on your emotional state of well-being. I also like to think that I have a 24-hour rule and then a confidant, a coach that I talk to. And that person is someone whose opinions I value, I trust, and someone that I respect. I respect their thoughts and opinions. I respect them. My friends, you should have one too. And use each other. Call it a mastermind or group. Don't think that you're alone in what you are dealing with and going through. Breathe, my friends, breathe, and know that it will be okay. Here's how you could tell right away if you need someone to talk to. There's 2 feelings. Number 1, if you have this feeling of being alone, maybe you feel like you don't have meaningful relationships. Number two, you have a feeling of being a burden, maybe to your unit, maybe to your friends, your parents, the Navy, or maybe you feel like you're a disappointment. If you feel like you're alone or a disappointment, those are two major red flags where you need to have the courage to go talk to someone. Greatest thing I've ever done. I've talked to someone, and I continue to do so. And I ain't never had anyone look at me as being weak, because I do. I wrote a book based on my experiences called Boom. One word that's a factor and an effect. The word boom. I'll make sure I send some up to the ship. My friends, I need you to respect who you are and where you are. I need you to be more kind and compassionate towards yourself. And stop and journal these experiences and think about what you need to get through this. Talking is amazing. Also, self-care. I'll give you 3 tips right now to change your life. Number 1, sleep. Young people, I think people that are going through stress need 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night. 8 hours. If you're ugly, you probably need more. Number 2, nutrition. More protein, less carbs, less sugar, more water. And number 3, get involved. When you're out at sea and you're with your peers, your team, get involved in the things that other people are doing. Make sure it's healthy and you're all going about it together. Sleep, nutrition, get involved. Do it together. The other thing, hydration and dehydration. Listen, you know what it's like if you're dehydrated. You feel it. You go get an IV, you're drinking water, you hydrate the body. I've never liked the stigma associated with mental health, but I like to put it like this. When you're feeling dehydrated, you're lethargic and you can't move. Again, Gatorade, IV, Pedialyte. Yeah, you young people are probably laughing and you know what I'm talking about. But even drinking in excess, that's a form of self-medicating. That's self-harm. You're not dealing with your issues and your feelings. Matter of fact, I was at Elma College back in October. And after my talk, 400 athletes, this one young man comes down to me, 21 years old, senior captain of the football team. He says, "Hey, Jeff, can I ask you a question?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "You're an athlete growing up, so what's your take on, smoking pot and being an athlete?" I looked at this young man and I said, I always said that if I can't be honest with people, I don't want to do this. I said, "Listen, I've never touched a drug in my life." I said, "And I don't want to judge you for what you might be doing, but let me ask you this question, being that you asked me a question. Maybe you and the boys, you go out after game, you take a hit, I don't know. Or maybe you find yourself taking a hit because there's these feelings that you're having trouble coping with, whatever it might be in your personal life. And by taking that hit, it's making you avoid, and you don't have to deal with this." He starts shaking his head. I said, I'm on to something, aren't I? He says, "Yeah." He starts telling me a little bit. I said, "So let me ask you a second question." I said, "What if I can give you in a healthy way, or you're going about it in an unhealthy way, and you were to get the same result? Would you be open to that?" And he looked at me and says, "Yeah." And so we continued talking. I talked about how you have free counseling, someone to talk to on campus. And his fear was, what would his teammates think? And I was like, that would be incredible. I mean, think about it. You're the captain. You're graduating. You tell them you want to be a better captain, a better leader. You're getting ready to graduate, a whole new chapter in your life. Getting them to know that you've got this growth mindset and you're talking to someone to help you move forward in a healthy way. What would be wrong with that? And you're encouraging other people to do the same. I'm still in touch with this young man, and he's doing amazing. And he thanked me for giving him the courage to say, it is okay to talk to somebody. And so when I talk about hydration, it's not just liquids for the body, but it's the cleanse and information for the mind. Hydration is also for the heart too. Lose that hurt, that resentment, that anger from whatever it is in the past. Whatever somebody may have done to you. And you may never forget. You got to find a way to free yourself from the pain of the past and start living today. It's called forgiveness. Listen, we don't forgive people for who they are or what they may have done, but we forgive because it's best for us to move forward and not carry this, let's call it rent, so to speak, this emotional toll. My friends, lastly, I've come to realize that in my life, self-care every day is important. I do yoga. I take time for me. I actually just got certified in being a yoga instructor. I have priorities and balance and boundaries that I put in my life every day, every week, and nothing cancels those priorities. My friends, I'm telling you, self-care, it's changed my outlook, my ego, my life. It's changed my overall mental well-being. I do what I can. I don't expect perfection anymore. I've come to learn perfection doesn't exist. I'm a 1% guy. I just want to be 1% better today than I was yesterday and 1% better tomorrow than I was today. And this is the attitude every day. Let go of what you can't control, but don't avoid what you can control. And also, remember, it's not things that make you happy. It's peace of mind that does. And yet we're afraid to talk about the feelings and thoughts of our mind. But remember this. Thoughts are thoughts, like an arm is an arm and a leg is a leg. But feelings need to be talked about. And if they're not, well, then we make forever decisions based on emotion. I leave you with this. A friend of mine, Dr. Alex Crosby, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. I remember when we were talking once, we were talking about suicide statistics. White males 35 to 50 years old is the number one statistic in the country right now. And he was telling me that they decided to do some research to find out why. And so they took the brains of many of these people that ended their life by suicide. And the research showed that way back in their adolescent years, there was so much trauma that was never dealt with. And so what happens is when you don't deal with what's broken, it manifests in day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It builds and builds and builds. And if you don't have coping skills or problem-solving skills, you've never dealt with some of these issues. It's easy to reach that point where you think, what's the point? Listen, no matter what, the solution to our problems is not in the here and the now. It's a journey. And in this journey of life, there's ups and downs, goods, bads, wins, losses, highs and lows. But it's a journey. And we have to breathe through it. And how you respond is going to be the outcome of how things will be. And so I leave you to all of you that listened. I thank you for letting me speak from my heart to yours. And my friends, I'll tell you, when you return back to port, I promise I'll be there. I'll be proud to welcome you all home. And I want to thank you for providing the very freedom that, my friends, I never take for granted. My name is Jeff Yalden. My website is jeffyalden.com. And if any of you want to email me, I'm at jeff@jeffyalden.com. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you for serving our country. Take care.